you in just a bit. Colonel Dev, I also want to touch upon what was said by General Kochhar, and very interesting because he says that Pakistan has a lot more to gain from US, not the other way around. US has very little to gain from Pakistan, and that US is trying to maintain across. So there is limited scope for United States in siding with Pakistan. What do you think is the reason then that United States has constantly maintained this neutral position, and more worryingly, not importantly, more worryingly, is wanting to now meddle into the Kashmir issue as well, still recognizing it as an issue?
See, let me put it into a different perspective and thought. The United States is not interested in what happens to Pakistan. The United States is not even interested in what Pakistan is doing otherwise, unless it is harming the US interest. The US interest is to take up trade, economy, ties with India. That is the bottom line. So if you see our growth patterns with the United States, we are developing from the last year with an increase of nearly 7.6% of our trade with them. The entire CAGR for the last 30 years with trade has been about 10% plus. And their interest is that India does not get embroiled in some petty wars, and that is India's interest as well, that we don't want to talk to Pakistan even. So we are at that stage. Even if you see the dynamics, and let me put it into perspective again because of this angst coming up. Pakistan has thanked US for whatever US has done, as they think, in brokering this ceasefire.
Right.
The US president has thanked the maturity of both states. Has India thanked anybody? So you can understand who is the center of attraction here. Center of attraction is never going to be Pakistan. The center of attraction here even is not the United States of America. The center of attraction is India. So that's a gain point from this entire fiasco. The second point I want to make is that there has been an era of trust and mistrust between us and the United States, and that also echoes in media houses. It also echoes in people to people connect when we see it happening. It also now is very amplified in the social media as well. Now leave aside 1980s to whatever happened till Hillary Clinton talked about snakes in the backyard and did nothing about it. There was an era of Pakistan, India and US engagement when President 1.0 was in charge. And that time there was no visible siding of anything to do with Pakistan. But today Trump has come back to 2.0 and his aim is to revive his own economy, which is so debt ridden in terms of their GDP versus debt ratio is so high today that he cannot afford to antagonize or not trade with Bharat. That's the bottom line. To take care of that, if he has to throw some breadcrumbs towards Pakistan and even talk, is fine. I mean, even if he has said that, Rubio said last evening that they're going to be a neutral venue for talks. I mean, India has not even spoken about any talks. Yeah. Leave aside any neutrality. It's not a IPL match going on that, we have to hold it in Dubai. It's not going to happen. India will never talk to Pakistan unless the terms and conditions of India as a state are met. And our current state remains. Op Sindoor is on. There is a temporary stoppage of fire called ceasefire. But our stand remains that we will not speak to Pakistan till it harbors and promotes terrorism from its soil, and that condition has not gone. So,
yes,
even if there's going to be a little trade, and I'm going to tell you what kind of trade, what does Pakistan was.
But do you also think China has a role to play? Do you think US doesn't want or cannot afford an enemy nation neighboring China, and hence it also wants to, in that sense, maintain amicable relations with Pakistan? Do you think that's also?
It's not amicable. What is sounding is different. What is going to go on the ground is different. Sounding is very nice. So any power, even if it's a global power or a medium power, when they're talking about two countries, they may put a rap on the knuckles of one of them, but still in the public domain say, good that you both were intelligent, and let that fool on the other side in Pakistan also think that they were intelligent. That is the entire gameplay. It's like two small children. One is a laik and one is a nalaik, right? So what do parents do? They do that balancing act and they prompt, and then they tell the laik also, okay, no, never mind, he has taken your cycle today, he'll give it back to you tomorrow. That's the same condition. Pakistan immaturity, kiddishness is being also exploited by US on the world stage. They're not talking on those terms, but I'm very pretty sure behind doors, behind communication lines and cables, and if someday, I mean this administration or next administration, somehow we come to know what was spoken and how Munir and Shehbaz approached the Trump administration, it will be hilarious to understand what Pakistan is.
The sense one Colonel Dev gets is US has played a limited role in this.
Absolutely.
It may claim as much credit. What it's done is essentially opened a military channel of communication between the two
It is
nations.
not even
That's-
claiming. Now you
yeah.
see the change in position.
Yeah.
Yesterday was mediation. Today is happy to help, right?
Right.
And by next 15 days, they're going to tell Pakistan again, behave yourself. So it's going to happen.
Okay, let's wait and watch out for that one. Stay on with us, gentlemen. We need to shift our attention to another